My name's Jeb, and I'm live. Merry Christmas, everyone who's in here. All right, I'll turn the lights down for a minute. Oh, that is so much better. Well, this video is sponsored by Solium. I'm going to show you their cool camera, and then it'll be time for holiday stories. Who has a cool, if you have a cool holiday story while I'm getting this, make sure to get it in the chat. By the way, I peeked in the top. I have no idea this thing could be totally busted up. All right, this is the moment. Hey, Merry Christmas, Derek. And Happy New Year and all the other good ones. So this is cool. This is what we want to see, right? The solar panel. I don't know if this is attached. What's going to happen here? I'm going to break it. Okay. Cardboard. Oh boy. I'll figure that out later. So yeah, it's one of these solar cameras. Now, I haven't used Solium before. I definitely am going to try them out though. But I have used these solar cameras. And yeah. Doesn't this make you feel safe? The cool thing on this one, it's got the solar panel, so no wires, no electrician. You just put it up high somewhere sunny. It's no big deal. Yeah, exactly. There's shenanigans, that's for sure. So it's got a pan feature, right? So you can go in your phone, right? And it's going to like move like the Terminator. Bzz, 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 right? Oh, is there something on here? Do not display this sticker on the internet. Ooh, okay. Don't look at the sticker too much. The pan feature's got to be cool because if you can get it in a spot, you know, where it can cover a wide space, you can look at whatever you need to. The other cool thing, it does 1080p color night vision. Now that, you know, you either get monochromatic night vision or you can set it where it turns on a spotlight and scares away the monsters. It'll push to your phone or the cloud, so you can set it where you'll get an alert when it sees something. That's handy. And I looked, it can do 15-second to 3-second video, 3-minute videos. So that's not bad. And the other thing is you set these things up on your phone, it blows your mind, right? You're doing this and they're talking to each other through the cameras. I mean, they're not talking, but they're looking at barcodes and stuff. You give it your Wi-Fi settings that way. And yeah, so check out this camera. Now, here's the cool thing. This thing is not extremely expensive. They gave me some 73% discount codes. I don't know if the description shows right now, but they're going to be in there. There's only 10 of them. They each work once, so I guess you just got to aim for the middle. Otherwise, there's a 30% code that works till Christmas. So check out the description. Solium. Can it grow a plant? I mean, it could guard your plants, right? That would be pretty handy. Secure garden space because of the pan feature. Now, I'm pretty sure that it isn't going to track enemies, you know, and vaporize them. We'll put it back here to watch me. Someone tell me if it moves, because then I'm in trouble. Like if it had some kind of auto pan, that would be cool, but you're not going to get that in like a budget camera. So how's everybody doing? Who's got a good holiday story? Peter XYZ says, hi from Cleveland. Can I even full screen this thing? This is water. Google. The computer has learned to detect human behavior in live chats. So that's always interesting too. But anyways, it's holiday time. We're not worried about the machines yet. Okay, so when I was a kid, and this may not be exciting for many people who live in country settings, we would get our tree from family property. Someone had a meadow. I think there was a fire 100 years ago or whatever. And so the fir trees were coming up, and we all trudged up in the snow. And it's very exciting, right? Yay, we're getting a Christmas tree. And then you get out in the snow, and you're like, oh boy. It's cold and it's dark, and we need to climb up a hill. So we get up there, and all the kids want, we all want the big trees, and all the grown-ups are like, no, I found a good one, and it's like 15 feet tall, 600-pound tree. They're green from the forest. So we get one, and then we've got to take turns hauling it back. Who here has hauled a Christmas tree in the snow? Someone must have done it. You don't have to have cut it down. It's just something different when you're in the snow, right? So we finally get back home. I think in an earlier Christmas, somebody knocked the tree over. I'm not saying it was me, So my dad's setup is a 5-gallon bucket with a bunch of giant rocks in it. Okay, so you put the tree in. You finally cut it down short enough so it fits in the house. You get the tree in the bucket. You surround it with rocks. You fill it with water right away, where it's a fire hazard. Right? Like, this tree was in the forest 30 minutes ago. Would you need to water it? Like, at all? I guess you would want to, but... Every year in Iceland, but do they have trees, Benjamin? How does that work? There's like 20 trees on the island, and you cut down 10 of them for Christmas trees? That sounds wild. By the way, super chat rules are in effect. They just won't be described so that Mother Machine isn't angry. Yeah, so then my dad wires it to the ceiling, to 2 hooks in the ceiling. I guess when you're a kid, the tree falling over isn't as scary sounding. And then we would get to decorate it. The boxes of decorations would come out, and then the grown-ups would disappear. Like, whew. That'll hold them off for like an hour. So you have small forests in Iceland, and you cut Christmas trees out of the forest? I mean, I guess, would you have farms? Seems like there'd be rules on that. This is lettuce back here. This is... One of these lettuce tubs has water and chemical nutrients. One of them has 50% chemical nutrients, 50% top secret worm casting digestate. So that'll be an exciting video. That'll be for January if the lettuce makes it. Here's the thing. Which one do you think is doing better? See if that's bearable. Could be worse. Which is doing better? This one's got 2 big ones. This one's got 3 medium big ones. I don't know. We're going to see. I think one's doing better. I don't want to be biased in my results. I'm just going to video it and show you the weight and let you decide. So that's good, Benjamin. You get a tag, I hope, if you cut the tree down. The straight nutrients, it's not obvious right now that they are better. That's my guess so far. And it's a new nutrient type. You turn the bag backwards, right? And then you hopefully don't get sued for defaming giant companies. But I would like to switch to one part. Who here does a chemical hydro? What do you like? 1 part, 2 part, 3 part? I've done 3 part a long time. Master blend, tomato, MHP Gardener mix. Shan, Mrs. Jebcraft. Yeah, Jebcraft was an interesting experiment because the time it takes to make a Jebcraft video is almost less than the length of the video. So the effort is minimal. The product is somewhat less exciting and maybe not as interesting to channel viewers. So I might start a Warcraft channel and then maybe do like a big summary when I get to 60. That might be better than the live grinding on plane striders. Levi Tillman, 3 part. Do you put more of your nitrate source in when it's veg time or whatever? Or you just like it because it's real stable? Chef Grace's place. Do you place a musical instrument? I sing a little, play a little piano. I did trumpet in high school. It was extremely obnoxious. I like music, but I prefer professional recording to my own skills. What about 1 part? Is it just more expensive? I know there's a thing where the phosphates and one of the P's and the K's get in an argument if you keep them in the same jug. But if you could get it to 1 part with minor increase in cost, I don't know. I think it might be worth it because now you're just buying one thing. My calcium nitrate, I don't know if I got liquid in I keep it in a storage tote to keep the air off, and it still absorbed moisture, and it's turned into a brick, and it's like damp. And I mean, what is it going to do? Just doesn't seem the best. Hey, Web for Deb is here. Oh, that's awesome. So I saw your strawberry video. Is the big lettuce greenhouse the big project, or you got something cool going on? And you got any good holiday stories? Levi Tillman says, I thought all the nutrients couldn't live together. Well, in bags that are turned around, I mean, I think people say it's just for vegging, maybe because of the one ingredient. I think it is the calcium nitrate. I think it's the K. Which one is that? Potassium? Yeah. I think potassium gets bound up by something when you have it in with a bunch of nitrate. Okay, another cool holiday story. So, who here's been sledding with the cousins? And how did it go? Here's how sledding with the cousins was for me. It's a car full of teenagers going up a mountain road in the snow. What could be less dangerous? What could be more dangerous than that? Well, it's teenagers. We're all boys. and it's a pickup truck with a camper shell on the back. And let's just say not everyone was in a seatbelt. And we're going up the windy road, and then they pull off and they're like, "Hey, who wants to go first?" And I'm looking around at the mountain road. Like, are you nuts? What are we doing up here? Where's the sled ground? And where's the easy slope? They've got a rope that they tie around the hitch, and they tie it to a sled. Halfway up the mountain, and it just makes the drive that much more exciting. We took turns. I didn't go in it. I was terrified. Being pulled behind a pickup truck, and the road is snowy enough that you could pull a sled without major damage, mostly. So that's probably not safe. Probably should recommend against that. Oh, Bigelow Brook Farm. I like how you got the Web for Deb in parentheses. That's just an homage to picking a channel name before you realized YouTube, had the potential for millions. Greenhouse Frozen. That's good. I'm glad you're not tearing down the dome. I can see that it looks like a pain in the rear. But that'd be a cool workshop. And you're just gonna leave the degrading plastic, or you haven't decided? And put some cool, like, you should get like cool colored glass panes, all crazy colors, and you'll be in the workshop. Just you'll be very creative. That's what I recommend. Blake Seymour, young Jeb must have been a legend. I was a hyperactive child, so I was known for things. Yeah, some good, some good. Pete K, Jeb, when are you going to try growing mushrooms? I don't know. Space is a real concern. There's the time thing that slows you down, and then there's the space concern. So what I really could use would be a mushroom sponsor. You buy a mushroom kit, and they give you like a piece of sawdust that's shaped like a log, and you get to pretend that you're in a cave or whatever. Do they put poop in those kits? What do they do? I mean, most people use some kind of manure, right? Or is it all sawdust? But that would be good, would be a mushroom sponsor, because then I could justify the time, and then we might actually get some edible mushrooms instead of, if I made it myself. That would be fun. All the plastics, you're just going to put a regular roof on, I assume. You always do the practical choice. Put a couple cool glass panes in there. Come on now. Alec DeVecchio. Jen, I really like your videos. Appreciate that, Alec. Jason Humphreys, mushrooms are fairly easy. Right, but with a kit. You're saying that they're easy. You just get some spores, and then everything else you figure out. I think it was Gary Pilarchik. I forget if I got his last name right. I think it was him, or it was Suburbia Free Dad or whatever, cooking like a mixture of manure and something on a stove. Like boiling, and it's like steaming, and you could just imagine. That doesn't sound easy. Nelson Bowles, what's the tastiest thing you've cooked / eaten that you've grown? Actual tastiest. I mean, tomatoes. It seems like that's the easy way. Oh, hey, Bobby Duke Arts is here. Hey, here's every time someone who has a check mark or should have one, then something happens. I'm not gonna say. So yeah, it'd probably be tomatoes, but I'd say surprising tasty thing I've made would be sweet potato flowers. You know, the whole sweet potato plant is edible. I guess you got to cook part of it. I tried a leaf, even a tender leaf. You got to cook that. But the flowers taste like sweet lettuce. It's got to be a delicacy somewhere. So Bobby Duke Arts, what's going on with your channel? Are you still exploding in size, or have you angered the machine monster, or what do you have going on over there? You make any cool swords out of pipes or something lately? Kendi says, how can we help you get the sponsors? Well, if I get an email from a mushroom company and they say, we'll pay you such and such and give you a free kit, then I just write them back and say yes, and they send it over. So if you know mushroom companies, just you could ask for me without any kind of weird spamming or coercion. I know you said you wouldn't say, but what happens? Oh, what happens? Oh. It's funny. I think the machine will figure it out and punish me. I did something to anger it like 3 months ago, but the new videos are still getting views. There was just a time there where like, we found an old video and flagged it for 18 plus. And I know they're doing that everywhere, but the timing was interesting. Yet, I don't know that Nelson Balls wants to know about sweet potato flowers. It seems like it would be extremely expensive unless like someone had a sweet potato farm and it was like pick your own. Because I mean, unless you were, the plant's usually declined by the time you're pulling up sweet potatoes. So it's got to be like a pick by hand thing. And, there's not tons of them per plant. But a bowl would be amazing. Mike Carlos Jeb, your videos are the shiznit. I love the original content. Hey, thank you, Mike. That's awesome. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Pete K wants to know about my work. That's not a secret. I work in the IT field. Work right here, right now. And I don't know what my coworkers think of me. They probably assume I waste lots of time doing the gardening stuff. Like if you ask someone, hey, I set these 2 storage totes with some rock wool and it painted this and the blah blah, drilled it, and then they might think it took you 3 days to get it set up, but if you watch the video, you can see how quick and easy it is. Blake Seymour, what's in your cup, Jeb? Oh boy. George Bage, how's the chickens doing and the rats? Well, the rats are still there, but I don't think because of the chickens. I don't know why, because it gets darker sooner and sooner, right? And we've got the new bird, and we don't know if they're friends yet or not. So they're up in the coop. Oh, Jason, thank you. Merry Christmas. That's the sign that most of the fans are not excited about the chickens, but the rats don't get in the coop during the day or even in twilight, and the food's in there. I don't know if they're more interested in other targets or if the birds scare them off. So, Bigelow, what growing tomatoes? Did you have a name of a tomato? And it could be certain terms that set it off too. I won't mention the terms, but you can imagine the growing terms that might affect them. Bobby Duke, making videos, having fun. That's awesome. You don't get stuck in the pressure, because if it becomes your livelihood, and then, that can be a real challenge, because half of, the main thing is having fun. That's what people enjoy. They want to see some fun. Can't be too serious. Can't be too commercial. But then you have to make your living. So what do you? I'm curious how that journey goes. I've seen how it's gone for. I've seen how it's gone for me, and it's basically like, if there's going to be a video, there has to be a sponsor, or it took too much time, and that may not be the ideal model. The robot video, just got a free robot and the Amazon affiliate links. So that one, maybe we weren't as concerned about being suppressed by the man. So who is excited about chickens? Because I know now. Oh, thank you, Mike. Peace to you. A bucket, a humidity meter. Is that a bucket or something, or is that a brand of humidity meter? And you use a humidity controller, right? And it'll turn on your your swamp fan or whatever at some kind of a threshold, or do you just get it dialed in? Yeah, there's pressure mostly from working with sponsors. So did you ever do the thing where you where you put it up unlisted? You're like, oh, I'll be cool. I got some more time, so let me put it up listed so they can admire it. I did that a couple times, and then I got a list of requests, and I was like, wait a minute. I edited this to music. You think I can pop in some more stuff about the product? It's just like, hey, we'll just ask for it. You put it up unlisted. Tommy Marsh wants advice on up-potting succulents. Don't you just keep cutting them and make new ones? Or like, I didn't think that was the thing with succulents. I know they would need a bigger pot, but if you just cut on them and make a bunch of little ones, that's what I've seen most people do. I mean, just put it in sand or whatever, and give it. I guess not sand. Put it in a well-draining soil, but they seem indestructible. Seems like some kind of wicking thing could work well too. John Scheinman, Jeb, can you recommend an entry-level grow light? Any of the lights I've shown. I wouldn't say a specific one, because this one's sponsored by a camera company, I guess they don't care. That's in the first 5 minutes. It depends what you want to grow. If it's like, hey, I want to grow some lettuce and have some fun, just anything you've got. You could use the light bulbs in your house. You could use old fluorescents. It doesn't matter. Just get started. When you scale up, that's when you want to get fussy about it. And I mean, it seems like LED's the way to go, but there's challenges to every grow area. Bigelow Farm, let me know if you want some grow grips, and I'll send you a bunch. I'll totally try some grow grips. Definitely. I don't I don't need a bunch. I don't know if it, just send me a 20 pack or whatever. Mike, I'll get to your super chat. Merry Christmas, buddy. But the grow grips are cool. I don't know if you guys have seen, right? Here's the challenge. You want to grow hydroponic, you can be extremely efficient, but the plant's got to be in something is the message. But I think you can do it without just straight water on rigid plastic, I think is okay. But he's got a grip. Did you invent those? Or all right, have a good one, Bigelow Farm. Check out his channel. He's got lots of cool ideas. He has like a styrofoam that you smush, right? It's like this. It's round, like you would have in a net cup, and you just kind of it opens and you smush it around the stem, and then the roots go in the water, and they're reusable. Bobby Duke, the only thing that can ask for changes on is the sponsored section. So you tell them that up front, or that's just like where you draw the line? Because it seems like with the sponsors, with many sponsors, you make a deal, and then they're like, okay, we'll ship it in a week, and you're like, wait, or here's the price. If you get 5,000 views, then you get this much more, and you're like, it's awesome. And then they're like, you have to get to 5,000 in a week. You're like, well, probably not getting the bonus. Amar Badri, I used $2 store light bulbs to grow a couple of lettuce plants, and it worked pretty well. When I first started, I watched all the grow light videos, and I ran into where they're like, you need to have blue or red. So get, 6,500K or 5,000K. You can't do 4,000. It won't work well. Or you can get 3,300K. I didn't ever get to testing it, but I bet you the warm yellow fluorescence, it would grow a plant just fine. Guarantee it. Mike, do you grow weird special projects during the winter months as experiments? If so, we want to know. Yeah, always. Because the garden becomes a burden in August or whatever, when everything starts dying and you can't just go out and pull out buckets of tomatoes. And then you're like, okay, and then you tear the plants out. And then down here, we don't really get frost. And you're like, I usually screw up and grow tomatoes in winter. Going to avoid doing that again because the cold weather spoils the fruit. I am trying. Anyways, growing plants with no media on a rigid screen, I think is going to be the future. You float the screen. I talked about it before. You float the screen, and there's no rock wool or coconut coir or paper or nothing. That's the way. And the robots like that too. They can pick them up easy. Nariwari Gaming, hi Jeb, saludos. Saludos desde Tijuana, Mexico. How close did I get? I took Spanish in high school, but I thought I was a show-off in high school, just like I was all through my life. And I got it. I thought I was cool because I knew all the Spanish words. And then the teacher says, yeah, but say it with a Spanish accent. I was like, what? He's like, yeah, just say it right. I was like, oh man, I don't know anything about this. Levi Tillman, I kept trying to give you a quick $10 on here. Hey, that's awesome. If you join me on Patreon, that's great. There's no pressure to give. If you just want to be friendly and enjoy the videos, just go for it. Okay, so holiday stories. Good. Mauricio Varela, good Spanish. Why I read it. I'm pretty sure one of the words was from. So I think I might have got it right. Okay. What do we want? Y2K or cold snap frozen pipes? What do you guys think? Because Y2K was a fun it was a fun new year. I was not extremely worried. Of course, that's because I was young, but also I was already in IT, and I heard all the predictions. The power is going to turn off, and your mortgage is going to vanish, or whatever horrible thing. It just didn't sound. I don't know. It didn't. I wasn't worried, but it was interesting. Ooh, Y2K. Okay. Yeah. So Y2K. I flew to visit family. So is that? I mean, I didn't fly right on the. That's the thing. People are like, "Are you going to fly?" I was like, "Well, I mean, I'm not in the air at the minute the year changes, but I still think the airplane's going to be okay." Just to guess. I guess the air traffic controller computers are old. Yeah, and so I watched Y2K come in. I don't know when, because it was kind of funny because of we are all focused on ourselves, and everyone's like, "Well, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna be ready? Get somewhere safe. Get your power off or whatever." And it's like, well, due to the time zones of Earth, we can see other parts of Earth have their new year and see if the power turns off. So it's rudimentary. I don't know what I was watching because it was like the next day. It was it was either Australia or Hong Kong New Year's celebration. I think it was Hong Kong because I was like, do they even celebrate that over there or something? And I was like, no, it doesn't make any sense. It was in college. And I was like, wow, okay, fireworks still work. You just light it, up it goes. We're going to be fine. But the funny thing for Y2K, we were all worried the computers were going to fail. Who is anyone else worried about the computers, the machine monsters? I mean, not like in a irrational way, but if you had an Atari 2600 and it got better by 10% every year, what would you have in a million years? I'm just guessing you wouldn't have, Air C Combat version 3, and now it has 8 colors. I think it would be something more powerful, right? But what if your Atari 2600 doubled in power every 2 years or 1 year? I mean, think about it. The machines are already in charge. Todd Woodworth, let them fall. Although I'd miss watching your vids, Jeb. Yeah, I don't know that it works like that. Certain things don't just fall. Maybe the real danger is that the people are still in charge. Right? Because people worry about the machines taking over, but it's a person. They're like, good, we're really happy. There's a person with my interest at heart, keeping the machines in check and just making them do what I want. What do you got, Nelson balls? You'd have something that's hooked into your serotonin? Sounds like something out of Waterboy. Something's wrong with his serotonin. Mike Jeb loves Snowfried or Sneefried, correct? BMO is good. Do you think AI would really take care of us? Well, it's competing systems, right? Um, Seems unlikely in the near future that all the AIs would get together and gang up. Seems like they'd compete. But yeah, you can program a computer to do what you want. You can give it the goals, and computers can be quite creative. Well, thank you, Be Majesty Cyril. It would be fun to be a TV personality. I actually, let's just say, the gross habits that kids have, where they pick at their face or other things. Let's just say I've been a lifelong person that probably shouldn't be on TV. And then now here I am, and anything could happen. And now here I am, and it's live. I don't know how I got to this point. Todd Woodworth, technology is always weaponized first. I wouldn't say first. I would say early, right? Because you say you're making something to grow plants. And so you're killing weeds and you found a thing that kills plants. And then someone says, what if we kill the enemy's plants? That it's so I wouldn't say first it gets weaponized. Maybe a second, always second. Fred said, are you into crypto? I'm ignorant about crypto. I get the concept. No, I think it's cool. Not into it. Diutza, hi, I'm from Romania. That's awesome. Welcome. You got any good holiday stories for us? So, what did you guys think about the robot? I know the video was unique, but the actual robot, it is a solar-powered autonomous killing machine, and no one's worried. It's small, but it just wanders till it bumps into a wall and it kills everything it walks on. Like, is no one worried about this? It's on a list somewhere. Because they're gonna make this thing for a farm, and it'll go up and down the rows, I guess. But if this thing just bumps into a wall, and if your hand's down there, your hand gets killed. I didn't try that. I just thought it was interesting when I was like, oh, I mean, I knew that's what I was getting, a weeding robot. It's going to wander and kill little plants, and it doesn't know. It just goes wherever it goes. But what if there was one of those things the size of a house? I mean, I guess you know. And someone says, destroy all the weeds. Here's the definition of a weed. And then they set the robot loose. Like, that's real rudimentary, but sometimes I think like a machine. Edward, does it just trim from base or does it kill from the roots? Well, it has two kill methods. So mainly it's the tilling action from the wheels. It's got these like angled wheels. They kind of face each other, and that grinds up the dirt. So it doesn't get the roots out, but it keeps cutting the top off over and over. And the weed vanishes eventually. You can't, every single day it comes and it tears the top off. And it has a little weed whacker thing. It still hasn't run out of plastic on mine. I don't know if that's a thing where you have to refill it. But it seems like most of the damage is accomplished by the tires. So it would, unless it broke down or there was no sun, it would just keep going. It's made for immature plants. They tell you that. Golden geckos. That's an interesting comment. Be Majesty Searle sounds like Terminator. Yeah, I mean, like, what if the robot was the size of a thimble or something smaller, and you told it, damage everything within a mile, or I mean, it's crazy. Tracy Steinkopf. It could be good to unleash right before planting for the season to grind up debris. Yeah, I tried grinding up the leaves. It works great for that. You would run it all year. It can't tear up like a weed filled garden. That's why I put it in the Bermuda grass to find out what it was capable of. They tell you, they're like, put this in a place with no weeds, and it'll just keep them from appearing, or a place with small weeds. It didn't stir up too much. It kind of made this compact layer. And I was worried at first. They told me, they said, hey, this is not designed for a whiskey barrel. Just so you know, it's made for a 150 square foot garden. And I was like, yeah, I have drip irrigation. I'm sorry. So they said you might have some interesting effects. So I noticed in this tub, the water would pool up when I watered. It'd be like a half an inch, and it would just kind of wait and then seep in. But the impaction was only at the surface, and the plant didn't seem to mind at all with the deep roots. And I think it actually, like, after I took the weed robot out of that tub, it didn't get any weeds for like 3 weeks in that area that had been ground. It could just be luck with the seeds, or a bird comes and eats the seed. I don't know. There's little ones growing right now. It could be that the top dried out too, because it's always hot here. Joe Viveros, what's up, Jeb? We missed you. I see you got some plumeria. I have a bunch. How does it go when they get bigger? Do you clear out because if the plant grows like this, you're going to have some ones that point into the center. You just take those out. That's what I assume you do, and make cuttings. Does it not look like a fractal? Who's programmed a fractal? I did this in high school, but you've seen the complex ones that look like worms or whatever. But we did it with trees, and the plumeria looks extremely like a fractal, where it's a stick that goes up and it splits into 3. And when each of those sticks, it goes up and it splits into 3. It's very fractal-like. A.B. Keedy, exactly. But it also, it could be you have something at the grocery store that goes around and picks up the rotten fruit, and what does that, what does that thing do? It doesn't have to be a complex machine to do something unexpected. I looked at the music for Starship Troopers, because I like doing the film music, and using controversial movies, the music from them, that's probably unlikely to stir up a thing. But it's very propagandish, on purpose, of course. It's not bad music, but it's a little repetitive. And then, I would need to do some research, to make sure it's not music that I would need to make sure to avoid. There's certain musics I considered, where you like, Can we forgive the past? Can we give this music a shot? Maybe just the music is good. And you're like, it's too soon. Don't use that music. Joe Viveris, you can keep them small. I chop them back as they get too tall. They will grow up into huge trees. How would you keep them small? So you just hack them down and they just kind of resprout and you maintain the height? First, last, there are only two simple machines, inclined planes and levers. I would say words are a human construction, and words are what we use them for. So I don't find your statement descriptive. Levi, that's great. It will refresh every month unless you lower your contribution or cancel. Nelson Balls, do you ever use video game music? I wanted to use the Civ 4 theme. I forget what it's called. I'm not going to guess at the name because it's a foreign word and it might be misconstrued, but it's the Civ 4 theme. That's great music. I don't know how overplayed it is because it's like the first video game music to win an Emmy or something. I definitely considered that. I could use other music because I would be getting around the copyright, but a lot of the video game music is good, medium good. It's not gonna be worth it enough. Definitely try something with Warcraft music if I don't do more Jebcraft though. Get the Baron's theme in there. His name was Sangus, as in Genghis Khan. Yeah, I don't know what that means. Hello, Jeb. Happy holidays from Maine. Happy holidays. Have your pipes frozen? We had our pipes freeze. It was rare because we weren't deep in the cold. But yeah, so it was. And the funny thing is, as a kid, you don't know what's going on. You hear the noise. Someone's under the house with a hairdryer trying to melt the pipes under the house, and people are hollering and passing, holding flashlights and stuff. And you're like, oh, this is very exciting. And none of it says, wow. I guess part of the grown-ups would be, what a pain the pipes are freezing. And then part might be like, wow, this is exciting. I was on the excited side. Mike B, love what you do. Oregon loves you. Oh, that's awesome. Oregon's a great place. Very exciting. You look like my old kung fu teacher named Genghis. I mean, the first thing you think is like, well, is that true? What are the odds that's true? It's a person who had a kung fu teacher and their name was Genghis. Like, there's so many unlikely things that it makes you think it might be true. But then again, what if you said, Bruce Lee's my teacher. I studied all his work. Could you say that he's not your teacher? Chad Parmentier, we've watched your videos for 4 years. Love your videos. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, it's funny when the big video exploded, the 10 million one or whatever. I think it got over 10 million finally. I would consistently get about 5,000 views. And then now I'm close to that, 5 to 10,000. So that's kind of fun. There's people that actually enjoy this stuff. Shadow Walker, hi from BC. Love all your garden drama. That's hilarious. Oh, thank you, Shadow. So his last name was Genghis. What his last name was Khan, too? Why couldn't it be that? So your hydroponics in the Florida Keys, was that because the ground's sandy? Or because it's hot? Or because you're just smart? The cilantro video. Yeah, I need to do some more cilantro. What about cilantro microgreens? Do people like that? Or do they just look at it and say, oh, it's a bunch of cilantro? 89 cents. Because I like cilantro, but I can't deal with the life cycle. So I'm going to try some coriander or cilantro microgreens. What are you growing next? You know, I don't really, do people really think like that? I just have what I'm growing now because I have to make sure it survives the winter. Right now, I've got lettuce, jalapenos. I'll have to make a spicy salad. Now, here's the other question. If at the start of my video I say my name is Jeb and I grew some hot peppers, and then I take a jalapeno and I bite it and make the hot face, is that teaching people to do a dangerous act, or is that funny and we can still be funny? How far are we in the video? 56. Okay. Maybe the computer will give us a sign. If you do certain things, then your feed will disappear for a minute while they think about you. And I don't mean like, crazy dangerous acts. If you say certain things, the feed pauses for a minute. So it's very odd. See, that's why I guess with the machines taking over, how it's sounding paranoid and stuff. I've worked in IT for a long time, and so I've gotten to see disturbing mental tricks from coworkers. And then I've seen the path of technology, right? I've gotten really good at detecting both of those. And it's weird when you can see some of the tricks at play. You wonder, did the machine figure out these tricks or did a person teach it, Like here's one of the tricks. Make vague rules and keep people guessing, right? That's a human trick. Let you decide what humans on Earth use that trick, and are you fans of them? And then you see the computers do the same thing, and you wonder, it's like, okay, did you realize this is how you control people? Okay, so Be Majesty Stroll, I think the movie Avatar. Plants are something that is the personification. I mean, plants are real peaceful, unless it's a Venus flytrap or whatever. So it seems like an easy choice. I enjoyed Avatar. Seems like it got a little simple at the end. They could have really pushed it and really made it deep, but I guess the masses weren't ready. We have vivid grow lights from the Elon Musk peeps. What is that? That's LEDs with what would he be using? It's got to just be some kind of high efficiency LED. That's cool. Tell him to send me stuff. I'll try it out. My view on growing mushrooms is sounds fun. Be safe. And grown-ups should be allowed to do what they want. Well, thanks everybody. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Don't forget there's a link in the description. If you're not live, I'll probably put an end screen to some kind of frightening video since I talked about the computers. We'll see. But thanks everybody for coming. Until next time. Thanks for watching.